Now, on the topic of wet weather footy, we thought it'd be great to go into some the worst weather games ever held on AFL, ever had on AFL games. Now, I've got two, and Tim's got one.
Yep.
I'm going to open it up with Sydney versus Gold Coast
Oh, bang.
in, when was it? 2016, round 11.
That's beautiful.
Ooh,
Where there's definitely videos of this on YouTube. There was 200 mil of rain 24 hours before the game started, and pretty much it was a mud bath, and they were just sliding around. It was playable, but it wasn't really footy at that point. It was a pitch. It wasn't. It would have absolutely
mud wrestling at one point.
Yeah, exactly. Ice skating, we'll call it. Just zinging along the field.
Bit of like,
Yeah, but was it really that graceful? I argue it was a bit more of a slug of a slug match.
I think there's a bit of an art to knee sliding on the mud in football. It's just something special.
There's nothing better. There's nothing better than a knee slide on grass. That's like kind of thick, but not like, because if it's short, you still get like burns, or you'll cut your knees on like rocks or something, like a stone that's just randomly on the grass. But if it's like footy long grass, well, the perfect time is like in between the footy and cricket seasons. Both those months, like September. This is for local footy ovals. Obviously not like the G, because I've only been on the G once when I was bloody walking around. Funny story about that. We went on the tour, like the MCC tour that you can do, and there was a Sheffield Shield game on, and we were in like grade 4, and me and my mates jumped on the field quickly. We just like ran and then hopped over the rope and hopped back.
Dang.
It was very funny.
Algae rider.
Yes. But yeah, like that time. I digress. That time between like September, October for local footy grounds, and like say like March, April, the ground is just in like pristine condition because there's no sport being played on it, and the grass is like optimal length. And then when it's wet, you can just slide. My best day at my local oval was in 2020, October, because there'd been no traffic due to COVID, and it rained, and I was running around kicking the footy. And I reckon I was there for 2 hours.
Knee slide heaven.
I was just sliding around, pretending I was bloody Sam Mitchell in the 2012 grand final, diving over Nick Malcheski's boot, or trying to anyway. Or what's his name? Was it Jason Blake who tried to smother Paul Chapman's goal? Like just fully diving. It was great. What's your second game, Cookie?
Yeah, the second game's interesting. It is Geelong versus Fremantle in 2004 at Kardinia Park.
Ooh.
Now, this game's not really a wet weather one. It's more of a freezing.
Oh, bang.
I'm saying 6 degrees with an icy wind.
Oh, that's
I'll
cold.
tell you some stories from this game I've read online here. Firstly, Peter Riccardi decided to sit out the last quarter and have a spa because he was suffering from hypothermia.
Oh, bang.
One front for you.
Jeez.
I've got some Freo fans online who basically said local games were called off. People, like what players were getting taken to hospital from local games, but they still played. What happened was the fans were watching, and then at quarter time, apparently I think he was down the end of like the Freo. And there was no like wind protection, and they were just getting absolutely destroyed. So what they did was they ushered all the fans into a glass-occupied room with non-playing members of the Geelong squad and other Cat faithful, including Doug Wade and Corey Enright at the time, who was a fringe player.
Bang.
So there you go. So they watched the game in the box, pretty much.
With the team. What a way to meet your heroes.
That would have been down the new Selwood stand, because there never used to be a roof there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they apparently just absolutely copped it. And they just, apparently players were just having like coffees and tea and stuff at halftime.
Would have the blankets over the knees.
That's another one for you. Exactly. Put the fingers in hot water buckets.
Oh jeez. As a
feeling you only know if you played local footy.
As a tennis coach, mate, I know a thing or two about. I reckon the coldest morning I've had. I used to do morning coaching. I don't do it anymore, but I used to do morning coaching. I coached at a school that we operate at, and it was 2 degrees, 3 degrees in the morning.
Jeez, that's cold.
After being -2 that night. Keep in mind, this is in Melbourne, so we're pretty close to the sea. That's like rare cold. But if that was cold, my hands were frozen. I used to when I was a kid, I used to give stick to my coaches who used to wear gloves. Now, bro, oh geez, I don't blame them. I don't wear gloves that much anymore, though. I used to wear them more. I don't anymore because just I don't know, just disrupts the ability to feed the ball.
In the way?
Gets in the way. Yeah, can't feed the ball properly. But yes, I've got the third and final game. We're back on the rain front. Honorable mention. I don't know if this is bad weather. But what about when it snowed in the Hawthorn Giants game?
Yes. I thought about that game.
I wouldn't call that bad weather though. I love the clip of Jeremy Cameron's shivering, and then the Hawthorn player next to him. The Hawthorn player next to him is looking up, just going, "Oh, wow." It's so cool. But now my game is.
I mean, have you seen that?
Sorry, Janus, you go.
Have you seen that video? Have you seen that video of Clarko? He took his shirt off and he started running around the field.
Running around in the nud.
Boys, it's not that cold.
That's beautiful.
It's not that cold, boys.
Mind games. Mind games. Like T-Dub in the goal kicking battle just recently.
Oh, bang. Big cheeky plug.
Had to plug myself there. But anyway, I'll get back to it. My game was going to be postponed, but it wasn't. It was round 1, 2018. Gold Coast played North Melbourne in Cairns because of the Commonwealth Games, I believe. Anyway, there was 30 mils of rain in the first quarter.
Bang.
There was 30 mils of rain. And it rained the whole game. And pockets of the ground were just puddles. And it was torrential.
Yeah.
And of course, in Cairns, right? It's portable. So it's portable camera stands and stuff. Some of the cameras couldn't even see the game. That's how much rain it was.
Yeah.
The main broadcast ones, the side view and a couple of behind the goals ones were properly looked after. So you had a decent, but some of the ones on ground level, almost the POV ones of the fans, they you couldn't see anything because it was just that bad.